We'll now move on to the lump sum calculator. Remember, you can find the link for the lump sum calculator on the childsupport.ny.gov website. Click on the Employer tab at the top of the page and then click on Employers or Calculator to find the lump sum calculator. To use the lump sum calculator, you would need copies of the income withholding order for the employee and the amount of total arrears owed for each child support order. To obtain the total arrears, call the Child Support Helpline or send an email to the State Disbursement Unit using the contact information provided within the lump sum calculator. Enter the total arrears owed as provided by the Child Support Helpline or State Disbursement Unit. Next, enter the amount of the lump sum payment. You may be required to make certain deductions from the lump sum payment pursuant to state and/or federal law. For rules and guidance on withholding for supplemental wages, see the Employer's Guide to Unemployment Insurance Wage Reporting and Withholding Tax, NYS-50, which is jointly issued by the State Department of Taxation and Finance and the State Department of Labor. If you are required to make certain deductions, New York State requires the following deductions be withheld: federal income tax, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, state income tax, city and local income tax, and involuntary retirement or pension plan payments. Note that some lump sum payments may not be considered wages subject to withholding of deductions. You will need to enter the amount of the required deductions, if any, in the appropriate fields on the lump sum calculator. You must then click on New Payment Amount, and the lump sum calculator would determine and display the new lump sum payment amount. For example, the lump sum payment minus the required deductions. In this case, there weren't any required deductions. Next, you must determine whether the lump sum payment is for personal service or non-personal service. Personal service includes, but are not limited to, wages, salaries, commissions, bonuses, and periodic payments from a pension or a retirement program. A lump sum interest payment or dividend is typically unrelated to personal services. If the lump sum payment is for personal services, then the CCPA withholding limitations apply. If the lump sum payment is for non-personal services, then the CCPA limitations do not apply. To indicate whether the lump sum payment is for personal services or non-personal services, select yes or no from the drop-down menu. If the lump sum payment is for personal services, you must also indicate if the employee owes arrears greater than 12 weeks. To do this, you would use the drop-down menu to indicate yes, the employee owes arrears greater than 12 weeks, or no, the employee does not owe arrears greater than 12 weeks. You would then click on the CCPA maximum button, and the calculator will determine and display the withholding percentage and maximum amount that can be withheld. In this case, percentage is 50% and the maximum withholding amount is $500. Enter the number of income and withholding orders received for the employee and click the Display IWO button to display fields for the total amount of past due support. Next, enter the total arrears figure for each income withholding order as provided by the State Disbursement Unit. In this case, it was $1,500 for IWO1 and $1,000 for IWO2. Click on Total All IWOs buttons to have the lump sum calculator determine and display the sum of the amount of arrears for the income withholding orders. Click on the Calculate Withholding button and the lump sum calculator will determine and display the portion of the lump sum payment to be allocated to the arrears owed on each income withholding order. The lump sum calculator will also determine and display the total amount to withhold and the total amount to remit to the State Disbursement Unit.